You hungry? Well, I'm hungry. You like baseball? Well, I love that shit. Want a slice of pizza? Go to New York. You want hot weather? Come to LA. You want to break bread? Call Nick Turturro. Ready, motherfucker? Are you ready? Well, I'm fucking ready. Get ready! Here we go. Flying solo. All right. Breaking bread. Almost Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving week.
Thanksgiving week. Here we are. Nick's in the house. We got Dan Lovey, who I just found out is Lovey's Diner. I had no idea.
Deli.
Deli. I call it a diner. Sorry, Dan. I had no idea. That's so funny because it's like, you know, the thing about diners is I love diners. I grew up in New York, so diners are very, special to me. Out here, they kind of have, delicatessens, if you want to call them that, or, glorified restaurants, whatever. But Lovey's it reminds me a little bit of a New York diner restaurant because it's special. You know what I mean? You go there any time of night, get a couple of eggs over easy, scrambled eggs. Like you said, you want corned beef, you can get corned beef.
Get a Reuben.
Get a Reuben, pickles. We were talking about Katz's Deli because I stayed in New York last year, and then this year I was in New York again. And I had a little episode with Katz. I had the pastrami?
Yeah, the pastrami.
Yeah, and it almost killed me. It was pretty bad. I mean, I didn't know that the pastrami was going to put me over the edge. But when I got to New York the first time, this is last year, I'm talking about, I started out with White Castles. Then I had Peter Luger's, which is very rich, that steak, Peter Luger's. So, Peter Luger's, steak, fried chicken, and then I was out of my fucking mind, and I did a pastrami, which is like, this big. And
at Katz's, it's huge.
At Katz. And I felt a little sick, and I was like, what's going on? I didn't quite know what was going on. I started to feel constipated and all this shit. So that was the bad thing. That was the sign. You got to watch out. But I didn't know. And then when I went home, I was able to work on that Monday. I went home and I had pain, severe pain, and something called diverticulitis. So I was like, holy shit. I went back to New York about a month or two ago, and I stayed on the same block, same hotel, because I was doing SVU. And so I was like, I hope I don't, I saw Katz's Deli for 3 weeks, but I had no pastrami. He came and he had it.
I had a Reuben.
How was it?
A+.
Loved it, right?
I'm waiting on Lovey's Reuben next week.
You gonna try Lovey's Reuben?
Dan Lovey's gonna bring it to me.
Does Dan Lovey make a vanilla egg cream?
Do you make a vanilla egg cream?
We sure did.
All right.
Okay, bring 2 of those too.
How's your hot dogs? You make hot dogs?
We sure did.
You grill them?
We do grill them. Not quite as good as the Chicago dogs, I must admit, but.
Okay.
Chicago dogs are pretty damn good.
They're good?
I've had one at the ballpark.
You know what you gotta get? You gotta get these Sabrett dogs. If you can get them, because they sell them. There's not many places that sell them out here, but these little thin, those are the dirty dogs they sell on the street in New York, but they're great hot dogs. The Yankee Stadium is selling them now in a hot dog stand. They're selling them at the stadium. Sabrett hot dogs. Unbelievable. Mustard, sauerkraut, that's a hot dog.
Ketchup.
No ketchup. I told you, ketchup does not belong. You agree, Dan? See, even Dan.
Kevin, where are you at on this?
Where are you at, Kevin?
No ketchup on hot dogs.
God, that a boy. Ketchup is for the hamburger.
Relish, mustard, and.
All right, I can even live with onions. But the best dog is classic mustard sauerkraut. Sabrett hot dog. Nothing like it.
Speaking of a hot dog, you think the LA dogs on the street in downtown are they get underhyped?
I'm not crazy about them.
You never had
You mean
one?
those fat hot dogs?
The ones they sell like near Staples.
Oh, those are not even hot dogs. Those are like sausages.
But they're still pretty good.
Yeah, but they're fat. They're not like a real, I want a thin hot dog. I don't want a thick hot dog. I've already had this discussion. I know a good hot dog. Nathan's is a good hot dog. You grill a Nathan's,
Farmer John is soft.
Farmer John is sucking shit. Your Dodgers need to wake up. Get rid of that Farmer John shit. That's
Hebrew
terrible.
National. Simple as that.
I didn't realize how bad it was. And then after a while, I was like, oh, my God. No offense, Dodgers, but, come on. Get a better hot dog. Get a Hebrew National.
Even in the dugout club, when like you
Unless
see
you
see
don't-
the option for the hot dogs and it's Farmer John, it's like
I know.
you
I
don't want to you don't
it.
want to get it, even though it's free and all that.
I
It's
guess
like,
they've been with them a long time, right? So they associate the Dodger dog with the Farmer John. Did you grow up out here?
He went to
So-
El Camino, so yeah.
What do you think of Farmer John's?
Not my favorite. Not my favorite.
See? And that's from a California guy. Not my favorite.
He likes you like the Red Sox hot dog actually.
Oh, that's a good hot dog.
Yaki, is that what it is?
They put it on like a little piece of Wonder Bread. They call it a Fenway Frank.
Yep.
I know my hot dogs. Fenway Frank is dynamite.
It's the one good thing the Red Sox have.
Yeah, they got Fenway Park.
Okay, two good things.
It's a good place. I thought of you the other day. I was in Buffalo Exchange and I saw a Red Sox. It was Papelbon. I said, I don't know if you want Papelbon.
I liked him, and then
Did you like him?
he became weird. After he won all the World Series, he became kind of a dick.
Yeah, but I like that Irish jig he used to do. Remember the Irish jig?
Yep.
Yeah.
Stipe Miocic did that after he won.
So we're talking about SVU. I had a big episode this week on thank you, Detective Bucci. It's a two-parter, so January 9th, don't forget, come back and watch it. Very good show. I was very impressed. I was very happy with it. I mean, I worked my ass off, and this show's on the air 21 years. It's a well-oiled machine. Very good acting, good writing. Shout out to Warren Light, great showrunner who brought me in. Dennis Hamill, who wrote one of the episodes.
Noberto.
Noberto, who's my director. Mariska Hargitay, great actress. Wow. Of course, Kelly Giddish, who I work with. Great chemistry between. Did you like it?
Yeah, shout out Ice-T too.
My man Ice-T, yeah. Ice-T, man. Told me he came in for 4 episodes. He wound up doing 20 years. I was like, you know how lucky you are, Ice-T? I'd love to have that gig, man. 20 years changed my whole life. I had a nice run on NYPD Blue, 6-7 years, but 20 years. Wow. Okay, you don't realize as an actor, when something ends, you're like, wow, you think maybe it's just going to happen again, but sometimes you're not that lucky. You see some people, they've done a series, then they get another series. I mean, it's not that common. That's why when you're on a hit show, you're on a freight train, you take it for granted. You don't realize, what it's like when you're out on the street. It's just like I was doing Blue Bloods for a couple. I wasn't a regular, but I'm friends with Will Estes, and, even he was saying, wow, it's 10 years. I'm like, enjoy it, man, because it's like, when it's over, it's not easy. I mean, it's, we always want to do things. We get bored and stuff because you've been doing the same character, but the trick is to try to keep it fresh, try to keep it interesting. But this was a fun 2-episode arc for me. I really had to go off the dial.
And you did it earlier in the year?
I did it in October, right around the playoffs. So I had the playoffs. I was dealing with the Yankees.
No, I'm saying you've already been on the show earlier this year.
I was on the show last year. Yeah, I was on the show for one scene, and then I guess they didn't like the scene or something, and then they called me back as the same character. But that scene was like a comedic scene, and this was a very dramatic two-part episode where I had to really I had to bring the fire. You know what I mean? I had to bring the fire. But I mean, it was. I was working with great people, so that was. And the nice thing was they gave me the freedom to do what I wanted to do. And we watched the episode the other night. These guys were freaking laughing, and because they're like, "Oh, you say that shit at home," I'm like, because sometimes you say things like nobody's listening to me. I said, but I was very happy with it because sometimes you never know how these shows are going to turn out. The editing sometimes waters it down, but they did a great job of. I can't wait for the next episode. I mean, it's a very good show.
It's actually a really good episode. I enjoyed it. On second watch too, it was good.
Yeah.
A couple things, of course, there's some people who are like, but the episode as a whole was really good.
Yeah, I mean, it's television. It's network television.
I didn't realize how many people are a fan of the show. I have friends who reached out to me like, "Yo, your dad's on SVU." I was like, yeah,
I know.
yeah.
I know. It's amazing. I went to the cleaners last night. They were like, "Wait a minute, I just saw you." And I'm like, you forget when you're on television, there's something about being on TV that's so powerful because, you say, nobody watches TV anymore. That's a bunch of bullshit. It's just like nobody listens to the show. That's bullshit too because people on the street tell me, I'm loving it. I'm listening to it. So you know what? It's a crock of shit. It's what the people in the street tell you. And then when you're on television, you know, people let you know right away, like, because, you know, you're in their living room, you're in their bedroom, and they get very, like, emotional. They get very, like, they're very invested, the fans on TV.
Well, a
It's funny.
lot of these kind of shows are like emotionally manipulating. So
Yeah.
if there's a formula to it, they know how to like evoke the certain emotion they're looking for. And then if you get a good actor like yourself, it even helps that. So it's like the formula works already, and then
Yeah.
they add more heat to it.
That's true. That's true.
I mean,
'Cause, you know,
it's like watching the Warriors a couple years ago. They had the formula down, then they added KD, which is more heat to the. That was
yeah, but when you're a guest spot, you're a guest star, you know, you don't quite know the whole show. So a lot of times you come in with your own ideas and you don't even know, like, you're stepping into a world that has another world that watches it, you know?
Is
So
it
it's
better
like-
that way?
I think it's better that I don't know. I think it's better I don't really fucking know. And I just like, okay, here I am. Here's this guy, Detective Bucci. I'm going to create my own history, my own character. And you know, but the fans of the show, they all have, you know, a point of view about, you know, what this guy is and what he means to the regulars. They're very protective of the people that are on the show, which is kind of true. Because like when you're on a show, like when I was Martinez on NYPD Blue, I mean, they were very protective of my character because I was like a Boy Scout. But being a guest spot, you know, I kind of like had a freedom to go outside the realm of, you know, being safe on the show. But I really enjoyed being a part of this show. It was you know, very, very good television, good quality, you know. And they did a nice job, I think, of building. And I think the second episode even gets, you know, it gets hairier. So I mean, they did do a good job of building that. Because sometimes if you do too much, then you know, you got nowhere to go. That was the trick, kind of like, you know, as an actor, it's like, you know how this is building, but it was like, you can't be like, you know, over the top every scene. You got to kind of let it breathe a little bit so that it has levels, you know, and the guy has emotion. I mean, they move very quickly. They move very, very, you know, it's not like, you know, they don't waste time. But they do a lot of coverage. You know, television does a lot of coverage. You know, they shoot the shit out of these scenes, and, you know, they don't wind up using that, you know. But they got to cover their ass. That's how television is. It's, you
You're
know.
not Clint Eastwood, one-take ponies, huh?
No, but you got to cover yourself, you know. You got to get enough angles. You got to have enough coverage so that you have choices, you know what I mean? When the choices come. Yeah. But great show all the way around. I proud to be a part of it.
Dude, Uncle John's is in
Yeah,
Batman.
my brother John Turturro is in the new Batman. Was he playing this
What's
mob
his
guy?
name? Falcone.
So who's this Falcone? He's
He doesn't know anything about
I don't know anything about Batman. What do I know about Batman?
You know
I he was-
Adam West is Batman.
That's what I know. That was the Batman that I remember. You know, the Batman I remember watching the Riddler, Frank Gorshin. You know who was the Penguin? It was Burgess Meredith. You know, from Rocky.
Really?
Yeah, Burgess
Yeah.
Meredith.
His trainer.
Quack, 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 quack. Yeah, he was a fucking great actor, Burgess. I mean, you know, he was Mickey in the Rockies. Talking about the Rockies the other day, I was thinking about Rocky 1 and 2. I really loved Rocky 5. I wasn't a big fan of 3 and 4, but I love Rocky 5.
Why do you like Rocky 5?
I like Rocky because I like Tommy Gunn. I love that.
Rocky 4, you kind of know is trash, but it's kind of heat at the same time. So it's like, it goes both ways. Like, it's like not good, but it's like...
Yeah, it's the Russian thing, and then the Rocky 3 was, you know, Mr. T and all that shit, and then Mickey died. And then what was Rocky 6? Was that Rocky Balboa?
Yeah, that was Rocky Balboa with
That was good.
Mason the Line Dixon.
Yeah, and now they got these other movies. What's the...
Creed.
Creed was good. Now, I didn't care for Creed 2. Michael Rapp, our friend, loves every Rocky.
He can quote Rocky
Yeah.
from top to
I
bottom.
knew the whole Rocky movie. I probably knew the whole movie. He claims he saw it like 20 times. I think I saw it like 13. But I think I knew the whole movie at one time. But he was...
Imagine how
you know,
much money that would cost today to go see that movie.
Yeah, but back then it was $4.
That's what I'm saying. If you went today, that's
Yeah.
like...
I used to even go to I would go to matinees when nobody was there. It'd
And just go scream in the theater.
Just going in the theater, and I go wild when he fight Apollo Creed. Everybody used to get up and cheer. It was That was a different time.
But that's what makes that Eddie Murphy joke so funny, right?
What, with Eddie?
With
Yeah.
Rocky, that it was just so emotional. People just even buy
Yeah,
that shit.
we've been watching Eddie Murphy lately. With Raw and especially Raw. He's Italians come out of a Rocky charge. Yeah, yo, Rocco. He goes, they love it. Oh man, Eddie Murphy. When you watch Raw, how good was he? How good was he?
Can I talk to you for a second?
Yeah.
What's your motherfucking problem, man?
Yeah. Oh my God. I love when he does his dad in Raw too. Oh my God. Got punched in the mouth? By who? Who? Danny Terrio? What'd you do, Eddie? He goes, you did something. Oh my God.
Mostly all we watch is like stand up now. We don't even
Yeah,
really watch
lately we're on
TV.
this whole stand-up kick. This guy is every fucking day. Dave Chappelle,
Russell Peters,
Russell Peters,
Eddie Murphy,
I turn him on Eddie Murphy. Of course, who did I watch last night? I watched that other dude. He's very funny.
Dion Cole.
Dion Cole, very good. He talks real shit. Have you
That
seen
dude's
Dion
funny
Cole?
as shit.
Funny guy. Very funny. Now we got Thanksgiving coming up. We got a lot of family in town.
So I'm gonna tell you this, right? So
Let me hear what you're
since
thinking.
Thanksgiving, right?
Yeah.
I don't think you should be awarded food on Thursday unless you work out tomorrow.
Me?
Yes, you.
What am I supposed to do? Hot yoga?
Yes, you are.
All right, I'm in.
All right.
I need to sweat.
So you're gonna come.
Have you guys done hot yoga?
Homeboy out there does it. I don't know his name. What's his
Who?
name? The guy we're playing catch with?
Oh, Brian.
Brian. Yeah, he does hot yoga.
He likes it? No, I'm not against hot yoga. It's just that, I have a bad back, so I think I'll just pace myself.
Just don't use weights.
I won't
bro.
use those weights.
Simple as
The
that.
hell with those weights. You know what I mean? It's yoga. I don't know why I don't need to sculpt my body. He's looking to do that. He loves it. He loves this hot yoga.
Just sit in the middle, sweat it out, and take a shower after.
Yeah, well, we got a lot. We got all the in-laws in town.
Dude, 27 people.
Yeah, my God. We got my father-in-law came, my mother-in-law, Uncle Joe is coming.
Got Gabriel's family coming.
And now we got another family.
Too
my
many-
daughter.
Got the Calderones coming.
Getting the Calderon. It's not that big of a house. We got about 30 people, so we need about 3 turkeys. We need about 3 turkeys, right?
Yeah, I told somebody to make mac and cheese too, because someone always forgets that every year.
What, mac and cheese?
Yeah, it's like, how are you supposed to eat the turkey without the mac and cheese?
I had to get my cranberry. See, I like the cranberry in the can. I don't like that fresh cranberry.
Do you
I
like cream corn?
Cream corn I like. Then we make something called bombs. Well, my wife makes it because my mother made it. It's a little pizza dough with blue cheese in the pizza dough. We fry it up. They're like hand grenades.
Not a fan of those.
Those are great. I don't give a shit what he says. I've had him on Joey Coco's show. He goes crazy over these hand grenades. Fried artichoke. That's also my mother's dish. We fry up the artichokes. Really nice. Of course, mashed potatoes, sweet potatoes. What else?
Shoot, what else, man? I don't know.
Then we got the pies. You gotta pace yourself.
Ice cream.
Yeah, I can't eat like an animal anymore. You know what I mean? 'Cause
You should probably smoke some weed before Thanksgiving. It'll get your appetite up.
I don't smoke weed. I told you, I'm not into weed. You know what I mean? What's this, ESPN?
But it's good. It's good for you.
So I heard The Godfather 1 and 2 is going to be on. Sweeney Murdy was saying, I'd rather watch The Godfather 1 and 2 rather than for freaking lame football. I don't know what it is about football lately. I'm not a big football guy, but it doesn't excite me. I don't know what it is. I'm not motivated by football. Are you?
I'm honestly not motivated by most professional sports. I'm not even motivated to watch baseball as much.
Even basketball now. I was screaming about the Warriors were too good. Now I almost feel like all these guys are on different teams. It's like so
Well, it's like different now. So now it's like LeBron's team is the team to beat
but
right now.
I can't get into LeBron because I can't get into the Lakers right now. And then you got the Kawhi's on the Clippers, the Warriors now are shot.
Real talk, basketball only matters in the playoffs.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, the other day I was trying to watch a game with James Harden, and I couldn't even get into like a regular season game. It's like once baseball goes away, man, I'm like, I could still. We watched a good fight there. Well, it wasn't a good fight. It was one fucking punch.
Deontay?
One punch. He hadn't won a round. Not a round.
I was trying to explain to him. I'm like, I don't understand why you're so upset about watching this fight. First of all, we illegally streamed it. 2,
You shouldn't say that.
I'm not going to get arrested.
Yeah, but you shouldn't say we illegally streamed it.
Everybody does it. Nobody pays for pay-per-view. The only pay-per-views people pay for are the ones that are actually worth paying for. Think about it. You really think Deontay Wilder's pay-per-view?
No.
Exactly. That's why the stream didn't get taken down, because nobody was freaking out over having it up.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's true.
everybody does.
Yeah,
it.
but the thing was, he didn't do shit.
But
the whole
but I
fight.
told him, I'm like, what do you?
Nothing.
I said, when you watch a Deontay Wilder fight, are you watching him to see his boxing skill, or for him to put the guy's lights out? So put the guy's lights
Right.
out. So who gives a shit if he
That's
doesn't win
true.
around the whole fight?
I know.
He didn't care.
Well, I was talking to Joe Goosen the other day, and he said he kind of reminds him of like Thomas the Hitman Hearns. And Tommy Hearns used to knock people out, but Tommy Hearns was a little better technically than Deontay. Deontay doesn't really have much of anything but
that's
a great
kind of
punch.
that's kind of his whole thing.
I know.
Like, it works.
Yeah,
you
but-
have to be perfect for 36 minutes to beat him. And to be perfect for an entire fight is rare. Even, I think maybe only like Floyd Mayweather is that perfect for an entire fight.
Yeah, unless you got somebody that's that technically good, he's going to school the shit out of him. But I mean, this guy,
Fury fucked around and almost got knocked out.
Fury took him to school for most of the fight.
Yeah.
Took him to school, but the thing is, once he lands, it's good night.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable how good of a puncher he is. And that's something you can't teach. You're born with that.
Do you think he's one of the greatest heavyweight punchers of all time?
He might be in the, top tier punches
Like top
that I've
3?
seen. Yeah. I mean, obviously the competition is kind of weak. It's weaker than,
Yeah.
Years ago. But arguably, you got to say the way he punches, wow. He's a...
If he puts Fury's lights out when they fight next year, do you consider him a top tier puncher of all time?
Well, I would put him in the top, echelon. Yeah. I mean, George Foreman was a great puncher. There's been certain guys who were great punchers. Sonny Liston. I mean,
Mike Tyson.
In fact, Sonny Liston is a great documentary. If you haven't seen this on HBO, if you guys, no, not HBO, Showtime. I'm sorry, Sonny Liston. Man, he was a dark dude, man. I mean, he was a really interesting. He was kind of run by the mob. The mob had a piece of him, but he just was a guy. You almost feel bad for him because like everybody was against him. People hated him, and he wasn't. I don't think he was that bad of a guy. He was a criminal, but he just wanted to be liked a little bit. And then we beat Floyd Patterson. But then people started cheering for him because they hated Ali. They hated Cassius Clay, because Ali came on the scene then. And Ali kind of got in his head. And then the first fight, he quit after 6 rounds or 7. He didn't get off his stool. Nobody knows what the hell was going on. The second fight was complete robbery. The Phantom Punch. I was actually in a movie called Phantom Punch. Not a lot of people saw it with Ving Rhames. And Ving Rhames played Sonny Liston. I played this guy, this guy that was his manager. It was not a bad movie, but a lot of people haven't seen it. It was made in Canada. Robert Townsend directed it, called Phantom Punch, if you could find it. It's actually...
Remember, we spent a whole month in Canada.
You were young then.
No, I remember it.
Yeah.
Staying in like a sweet hotel room.
Yeah. But Sonny Liston, man, he's like a scary looking guy. He was a legitimate, tough guy. But just sad, too. And then he had a sad ending, how he died. I mean, they don't know if he was... they don't really know what happened to him. He was dead for a week in his house or a hotel. It was just sad, the whole thing. I mean, he was just one of those guys, but Sonny Liston. Wow. What else you got?
I don't know. I was about to watch this clip. I still can't get over this, how Deontay's punch is. It's just it's electric.
Yeah,
I don't know what's there not to like about it, dude. I'm still I'm torn that you don't like it.
No, I just want to see a better fight, technical fight. The first fight,
You didn't
he
pay
fought a little
for it.
bit. Doesn't matter. I want to see the guy fight. Let's just see one punch. Who wants to see one punch? That's not a fight. Am I right? It's not a real fight. You want to see a good fight.
I honestly don't care. I just want to see Deontay knock him out.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's happy with that. That's the world today. They just want one little thing. They don't want the whole shebang. You don't want a great game. You just want one play.
Yeah, well,
shot.
The world had a great fighter for 20 years and didn't give a shit. They had Floyd Mayweather, who was excellent at everything in boxing, and nobody cared. They just wanted to see him
Because
lose.
he was boring.
But he's great. But you just said you want to see everything. You want to see a great fight in there. You want to see a great fighter with great skills. And you had one.
Yeah, but the thing was, he also, didn't have that exciting fights. He didn't have like fights like Manny Pacquiao and Marquez.
Hence why he's coming back next year, because he didn't take that much damage.
No, I mean, he didn't take a lot of damage, but it's probably going to be a gimmick. He's coming back. He's probably got...
What do you think he's doing?
I have no idea. Dana White, so it has to be something with the UFC.
I was just talking to Dan about it outside, and I said, here's what I'm thinking. It's either two things. It's one, Zuffa Boxing, which is Dana White's new boxing endeavor, is going to go under the PBC banner, is what I'm thinking, so they can have their fights be managed by Al Heyman, and then have those fighters go under and have them as a front. Or Mayweather may fight in the UFC for a sizable paycheck. Because if you think about it like this, right? Floyd fought Conor for what, $300 million, right? That was a guaranteed win. It was an easy payday.
$300 million, my God.
He made a shitload of money. Let's say the UFC offered him $400 million for one fight. If you think about it, that's 100% guarantee that he will lose that fight. So everybody would tune in to see him lose. Now the question is, let's say that was true, who would he fight against?
I don't know.
You can't put him against Khabib. Because even if they wanted to, let's just say, stage a win and, oh, wow, he won in the UFC, you can't have it against, a grappler.
Yeah.
I mean,
I have no idea.
I'm curious what it is, but I don't know exactly what
Somehow
what
I think
it is.
McGregor is part of this. You know what I mean? When McGregor's options are starting to get slim, so I don't know. Maybe
he didn't fight this year. He needs to fight somebody now.
Yeah, but he's not going to beat him in a boxing match. I mean, is he going to get in a cage? I don't think Floyd's going to get really in a cage.
But who does he fight in boxing? There's nobody.
There's nobody, unless he's going to fight Manny.
And
Pacquiao.
even that's not even warranted.
But he doesn't want to fight Pacquiao because maybe Pacquiao will beat him this time. Maybe he'll beat him. I mean,
I don't know. I'm always curious for what Floyd's going to do, but it's just kind of once he had Dana White and Dana White's reposting it and the UFC's reposting it, that's where it makes me curious.
Floyd just misses the limelight. He wants to be, even though he's not boxing anymore, he craves that shit. That's why you see him. He craves the attention. As Money Mayweather, he'll say, I'm retired. He's really retired, but he just wants to be, he wants
he's just that good. He can come back and still win fights.
Oh yeah. No, Floyd is, he's Floyd. He's an all-time great, and he runs the show. Him and Al Heyman, whoever Al Heyman is. I think Floyd is Al Heyman.
His whole spiel, Al Heyman, is crazy. He's pretty much he runs boxing. He's the reason why HBO isn't in business anymore. He brought Floyd to Showtime.
Yeah.
Took every HBO fighter, brought him there. Now all the top-ranked guys went to ESPN. HBO doesn't exist in boxing anymore.
I know. It's over.
That's all because of Floyd Mayweather. And then DAZN now is about...
You excited about the new Sandler movie?
What, Uncut Gems?
Uncut Gems?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So excited. I'm really waiting on that one.
Yeah.
I want to see
Adam
in
looks
that.
good. Maybe he'll get an Oscar nod this year.
It's kind of a tough race this year at Best Actor right now. I'm looking at the predictions.
Who's the best actor? You got DiCaprio, right?
You got De Niro.
De Niro's going to be in the best actor category.
You got Joaquin Phoenix.
Who I haven't seen. Have you guys seen Joaquin Phoenix?
Yeah.
Pretty great.
Performance or the movie?
Performance.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you didn't care for the movie that much, right?
I enjoyed it,
You enjoyed it?
but it was more about the performance.
Right.
Yeah.
It's different than Heath's performance, right? Yeah. I thought Heath was special. Really. And Joaquin's a great actor. I haven't seen it, but I'm sure it's interesting.
Heath never came back from that movie. Rest in peace to him, but he never was the same. That's kind of what happened to him. And if you watch his performance,
It took his toll on his life.
You could see why.
Yeah.
He was that electric in that movie.
Yeah.
I remember seeing that as a kid, and I was so freaked.
Some people, they never come back. They go so deep into a character that they, it affects their lives. I think that character did something to him, and he had a hard time sleeping, all this other shit, because his death was very accidental. It wasn't like some guys that are having a bad problem. He was having a problem sleeping. And, when you mix with that shit, you could, crazy stuff. I think that was an accident. But he was He was he was really special. You're
Okay,
right.
so here's who are the front runners, right?
So you got
You got DiCaprio for Once Upon a
DiCaprio,
Time, Joaquin
De Niro.
Phoenix for Joker.
Joaquin Phoenix.
Adam Driver for Marriage Story. is
I
a
haven't
front
seen
runner.
that.
It's
Adam's
not out
good
yet,
actor.
but he's being predicted. De Niro, and then in the mix, they're saying Eddie Murphy for Dolomite Is My Name.
Okay, I haven't seen that.
Paul Walter Hauser for Richard Jewell. Christian Bale for Ford vs Ferrari.
How many do they nominate now?
5, but like
five.
but they keep people in the
Yeah.
mix. Antonio Banderas, Pain and Glory. Adam
Well,
Sandler, Uncut Gems. Taron Egerton for Rocket Man. So
Yeah.
there's some heat.
Well, I'd be curious to see if Adam gets a nomination because with all those heavyweights, it's very political.
Is it deserved?
It might be. I don't know. I didn't see it yet. I got to see it. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, I would say the locks are De Niro, Phoenix, and DiCaprio, and then
Has Phoenix won a Best Actor?
he's never won an Oscar, so he may get it this year.
I mean, he might get it because probably the movie is not going to get much, so he might get it.
He's just like he did so much for the movie, so like I
Is he
guess
off the wall in the movie.
yeah,
Really great performance.
it's different. Like
I should see it just for the performance.
I think like it's hard to compare because
But
you
the
can't.
movie's men's and men's, right? Yeah.
It's hard to compare performances. Like you really can't because like even they said like the debate was when Heath came out, they're like you can't compare it to Jack Nicholson, but it's like
I don't
you,
compare
but you can't
things.
compare this to the Heath, but it's like Heath was just special.
He was incredible on I mean that performance stands alone. You got to look at something and just look at it and not try to compare. That's the thing about great acting. You can't really compare and say, okay, Brando was great in this movie, but Travis Bickle was also incredible.
And he didn't win an Oscar for that
Yeah,
either.
Travis Bickle and Jake LaMotta. People might say, well, Jake LaMotta is the best performance of De Niro's career, but Travis Bickle was incredible too. Maybe even more deeper than even Jake LaMotta. I mean, it's subjective, so it's hard to say, well, that was better. Not to say it's better. That was good. That was great, and so is that great. But they're different. There's levels in this shit, and people don't understand that. It's not like sports. Well, win or lose. That's the thing about great, performances, great movies. It's not a competition. It's just like when you're doing a scene, you're not trying to beat the guy in the scene. We're doing a scene, me and him, or me and Dan, or me and you. It's about the scene. It's not like I'm trying to be better than you in the scene. But if we're good together, then the scene is great. You elevate me, I elevate you. And that's what people don't understand about. It's about, you throw the ball, I pass it back. Some people, like, they're trying to win all the time. You get some actors like that. I've worked with actors that are very competitive too. But it's like, those kind of guys I don't enjoy working with. Because I'm like...
Yeah, De Niro didn't win for Taxi Driver.
De Niro's incredible.
You know who
in
beat
that.
him? Peter Finch for Network.
Watch that movie. You watch Taxi Driver. He is on another level.
It's a freaky movie, that movie.
There's not a fucking false moment in the movie. And the guy is just, you're watching it. And when you've worked and you know how hard it is to do good acting, even when you look at your own stuff, sometimes you'll take it apart and go, yeah, that was pretty good, but, maybe there was a couple of times where I felt like, I forced it or whatever. You always want it to feel like it's just organic, but he was just there in that movie.
There's some performances where just some people are just like,
and I mean,
Jesus.
he had that too, and as Jake LaMotta too. I mean, but you could see he probably put in the preparation that he put. That by the time he went to do the movie, he probably rehearsed it. I mean, when you get to rehearse these things, and then you get to, bring it to the set, and it's like not like television. You got to do it right on the spot. You rehearse, ba ba boom. You block, boom. You're literally like, you're in. You got to do it. You got to do your own preparation because you don't have time to do all that, get something going, But those people, they rehearse those movies and they fucking worked them.
Would you agree that Daniel Day-Lewis's performance in There Will Be Blood is an all-time like classic?
Oh, it's fantastic. He has a couple of them. He has the There Will Be Blood, and then and like the same thing with that other movie. It's not to me that movie is not the Gangs of New York. It's a good movie. I don't think it's a great, but he's great in it. He's fucking great in it. I mean, throwing fucking knives. He's as that guy, the butcher. Yeah, Bill the Butcher. He's better than the movie. The movie is good. He's better than the movie. Taxi Driver, he's incredible in it, and it's an incredible movie.
Yeah.
It's a fucking great movie. So
Awards
sometimes-
also don't like mean everything, but it's like,
Well, I mean,
it just sucks when a guy has like a great performance and he didn't win for that, but he wins for something else.
That's always like that. You know,
Yeah.
they gave Al Pacino an Oscar finally for Scent of a Woman. That wasn't his best performance. Hoo-ha! Yeah, I mean, it was good. It was good. I love it, you know?
But it's not.
But it wasn't Al's best
not Michael
performance.
Corleone.
There was a time, though, you know, and Pent, Trent, Billy, fuck you too. I'm not finished. I love that. I break into that sometimes.
Hoo-ha.
Hoo-ha.
That's how I
Yeah.
scare him. I hide
Yeah, yeah.
I hide somewhere. I go, hoo-ha.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
I had this Asian flower over here, and East meets West. Oh, man. It reminds me of my acting teacher.
Out of those 5 this year for Best Actor, well, I mean, you've only seen a couple, but
I still love Leo's performance, too.
you think
great
that was
performance.
electric, man.
Great performance.
Your brother
Yeah.
wasn't too hot on it, but it is what it is.
My brother, he likes Burt Lancaster. He doesn't like the modern guys.
Yo, you know what? I just read that.
He's like, Burt would throw these guys through a window, Nick.
I meant to say about the fighting. I forgot to tell you that Khabib and Tony's almost done. They're gonna make it for Brooklyn.
I seen something that he signed a paper. Some shit.
Khabib signed on. They're just waiting
Yeah.
for Tony, and then they'll announce the
April?
fight. So
Why so long? Why do I gotta wait till April?
So the big dates, I guess, for UFC are the Vegas dates and the New York dates, right?
Yeah.
And Vegas dates for UFC is always March, July, October, and December. And I guess they're doing a January date if McGregor fights in January.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But oh shit.
The fuck is that?
But the reason it's not happening in March in Vegas is because Khabib
It's a funny
refuses.
moment.
Khabib is refusing to fight in Vegas.
Khabib's, why does he want to fight?
Because after the whole thing when he jumped over, he thought that the athletic commission who suspended him needed to apologize to him for suspending him because he said that my reasons for jumping the cage were warranted, meaning like the anti-Muslim slurs and all that. And he
Right.
said, I will only fight in Vegas if Nevada apologizes to me. And they're not going to do that. So they said it was either going to be April or March, and the March date was Vegas, and the April date's Barclays Center.
Oh, so they're gonna go to Barkley now?
Well, they were supposed to fight there 2 years ago, and he got hurt, Tony.
Right.
So
But that'd be good.
This
Brooklyn?
this is the 5th time this fight was supposed to happen.
Well, it better happen.
I mean,
Everybody wants to see Tony Ferguson against this guy.
it's
So-
supposedly a very tough matchup, but according to Khabib's coach, he doesn't think this is his hardest matchup, which is weird.
Khabib's coach says it's not as hard as... Really?
No.
Why is that?
He doesn't think it's his hardest matchup.
For what reason?
He said his style is not as like they can handle it. They don't think it's like a style that's like something that is that tough for Khabib.
Oh, I see. So
And
they're probably more worried about McGregor.
Well, his coach said Connor's his toughest challenge, and
Oh,
they
his
said,
style.
and they said why, and they said because Connor can end your fight in one round, and there is truth to that. Like,
Well,
we'll see because Tony's amazing on the ground, so like I'm very curious to see it.
Tony's a badass, but he hasn't been that active. That's the only thing.
Neither
Or-
is Khabib
Neither is Khabib, but sometimes...
or Habib.
Huh?
It's Habib.
Habib. Sorry, Khabib. Habib. Yeah. And
I'm excited.
so Masvidal's gonna... Who's he gonna fight next?
So-
He's gonna fight the winner of Covington and
Usman.
Usman.
So
When is that fight coming up?
That's in 2 weeks.
Oh, man.
That's a tough. Well,
Who wins that fight?
they're essentially the same style. They fight exactly the same.
Yeah,
They
that's-
grind you out. They wrestle you. They pound you. That's it.
That's gonna be a tough one,
And
right?
they hate each other.
And they don't like each other.
But the big thing is like there's 2 narratives that are played, right?
Yeah.
So like I feel like for like the sake of MMA, like
Mm-hmm.
and just like kind of like the sake of like the good graces, Usman has to win because Colby's a piece of shit. But
Yeah.
Colby and Masvidal have beef. So it's like
Yeah,
You
I
wanna
actually
see
think
that?
I think Colby Covington and Masvidal would... Sounds like it'd have more
well,
heat,
they're
right?
former best friends.
Oh, they're friends?
They're former best friends.
Really?
So they were training partners.
Oh, I didn't know
and
that.
then I guess they had a little falling out.
Yeah.
And like they used to like be in each other's corners, etc. And they train at the same gym. And then pretty much like Masvidal just says he's a fake person and he's a piece of shit. And Covington says he's a fake person, he's a piece of shit.
So they're falling out.
So yeah, so they want to. So I mean, they want to fight each other. But it looked bad if Usman lost this fight because Usman beat Tyron Woodley.
Yeah, and Woodley was supposedly the baddest guy.
Well,
Woodley didn't look good in that fight.
But Woodley claims he had a bad night.
He might have just had a bad night.
He said he didn't have it.
I mean, I don't know. He just didn't show up, or like you say, maybe that guy was a bad match for him. Physically, he seemed to dominate him. So I don't know.
That's Rumble's training partner, Usman.
Our boy Rumble Johnson, right?
Yeah, and he's gonna fight next year.
Yeah.
John Jones is coming back. I don't really care.
So how's your new music?
It's good, man.
He's recording a lot of music, this guy. Have you heard any of his shit? It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's coming next year and a lot of new stuff.
Sort of like as that vibe of...
It's like pop shit.
Pop, but sort of like, what's the guy?
No, don't say anything, bro.
What's the guy's name?
Which guy? No, you don't put narratives like that. You talk about me. That's essentially like if someone was pitching you for a project and they go, he's kind of like Joe Pesci, but he's not.
Well,
would you like people saying that?
What can you say? What can you say? I mean,
that's like you want to be your own guy.
Joe Pesci. I got a funny story with Joe Pesci. I almost got run over.
What'd he say? You're that fucking guy. Who did that?
No, he didn't say that. Eh? Many, many years ago, I was trying to get a movie made called Bless Me Father.
With Mark Kriegel.
And what do you call? I was trying to deliver a script to Joe Pesci. And so I guess Joe's people said, yeah, he could deliver the script. He lived up on Mulholland. And all of a sudden, I go there like at 9, 10 o'clock at night. He didn't think I was going to deliver the script. But I brought it myself with the gates. And I was in the dark and I'm like, I don't know what to do. I mean, what should I do? Maybe just drop the script here? All of a sudden, a car comes flying down the alley like 50 miles an hour. I jump out of the way, and the guy's like, who are you? And I said, I'm Nick Turturro. I'm trying to get a script to Joe. He goes, I know who you are. And I was a young guy on NYPD Blue. He goes, I'll give it to Joe. And I said, okay. And I walk away, and I see, like, the gates, and Pesci's, like, in a robe. He's like, who's that? That fucking Turturro kid. And it was Tommy DeVito, the real Tommy DeVito from the Jersey Boys. And it was I couldn't believe it. And then I ran into Pesci, years later, and he was like, yeah, you fucking brought at 1 o'clock. I was like, nah, it was 9 o'clock. He was, nah. I was like, nah. I said, nah, Joe, wasn't that? He goes, nah. I'm like, oh, you fucking Joe Pesci. Anyway, speaking of Joe Pesci, pull this up. We'll finish up with this. Pretty cool. He's got an album out, and he's good.
He sings.
But he was a singer. He was actually part of, Frankie Valli a little bit. And Frank Vincent, who passed away, his good actor, they played in a band together. And so I guess Joe was a singer years ago. And when he was trying to make it as an actor, he was a musician. But he has a very unique style. So he did this duet, but he has an album out.
Wow.
He did a duet with, what's the guy?
Adam Levine.
What's
it called?
Baby something?
Baby Girl?
Yeah, just
really?
Put it on. It's really good.
This is interesting. It's written.
Have you heard it?
Yeah, I did, but listen to it was written by
who?
Bob Crew and Bob Gaudio.
Oh, wow, because it has that Frankie Valli feel.
So if you guys don't know this, for the people that don't know, Bob Gaudio and Bob Crew are who wrote all of the four
Frankie
seasons.
Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons,
which is the Jersey Boys.
That's right.
The show. So that's kind of crazy that they wrote that record for him, and Joe Pesci helped put them together.
And this has like a Latin beat, and he almost sounds like Frankie Valli. And you won't, you wouldn't know if it's him, but you could hear a little bit of him.
Let me find the record.
It's pretty funny. You got it?
I think so.
All right. Put it on. Eating cold pizza.
That's a first.
I like my pizza hot. Make it louder.
It's the loudest. Is this it?
Yeah. Have you heard this? I like it. I like it. Joe Pesci, Baby Girl.
Yeah.
Good job, Joe. Maybe we can get you on the show one day. Wouldn't that be something to have Joe Pesci in here?
Come out of retirement for Breaking
Yeah,
Bad.
we get him over here. We could talk about, whatever he wants to
I
talk
don't know
about.
if Joe Pesci would like me too much.
Who, Pesci?
Yeah.
He's a cool guy. He's got an edge to him, but.
You know what we watch all the time? We watch Robert De Niro's Jeff Ross roast.
Oh my God! If you haven't seen this,
It's one of the funniest things.
fucking De Niro is so raw.
Whoever wrote it, thank you.
Oh my God!
It's great.
You got to check it out. Jeff Ross.
Well, it's the roast, but it's
The
Jeff
roast.
Ross's show.
It's his show. But who are they roasting? Oh, Alec Baldwin.
Alec Baldwin, he goes, you would think after all these years, the people you've worked with would show up on these nights, and it's just a bunch of nobodies.
Yeah, he's like,
You can't even find
who
them on
are you?
Wikipedia.
Who the fuck are you? De Niro goes. Yeah, when he gets angry, there's nothing like De Niro.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Happy Thanksgiving.
happy Thanksgiving, everybody. We'll see you next week. All right? So.